What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan. Today on George Reviews, I'll be reviewing Super 7's Thundercats Ultimates Slithe. Before I dive into this figure, I want to talk about the Thundercats line and the figures we've been getting from Super 7. The first thing I want to talk about are the delays. There's always some type of overwhelming delay with Super 7 figures. But a lot of these figures we are paying for over a year in advance, well over a year in advance, and they're coming late. And I know there's COVID going on right now, and a lot of things aren't being shipped. There's production shortages and just delays due to the virus right now. So I get that. But even before that, Super 7 had like massive delays and things wouldn't come, and then the figures weren't that good. Once we got them and there were changes made, they would have to go back and ship parts. Well, I guess they didn't. They kind of did us a favor by shipping parts that should have been included. Replacement parts, correction parts is what I'm looking for. But now we get Slithe, and this is actually Wave 3. I got this off Big Bad Toy Store about a week ago now. It popped up. It was Slithe and the robot guy. I'll put it on the screen. Can't think of his name. And the robot pirate. So I was like, I definitely wanted Slithe. So I grabbed Slithe. And like I said, I stopped pre-ordering these figures because of the massive delays. And then there's always something wrong with the figures. Well, a lot of times, not always, a lot of times there's something wrong with the figures. So I figure I'll just wait and buy them later. Even if it's like a slight markup. I'm not going to hand these guys my money months, a year plus in advance and then wait for a figure that's not as good as they promise. So now I just wait. And speaking of waiting, the whole reason I'm rambling on is because where's Wave 2? Slithe is in Wave 3. They released 2 figures from Wave 3, and Wave 2 isn't even here yet. And a lot of people pre-ordered these figures from Super 7 and still sitting around waiting for these figures. But they kind of leapfrogged that. And I guess it could be some shipping things where some figures couldn't come through customs for whatever reason, and these squoze through, and we should be happy to get these because they squoze through or something like that. I don't know, but I do know there's always some type of shipping and delay problem from Super 7 even before COVID. And I also want to talk about how these figures are very pricey. You know, they're just under $50, and now they got like the super one like Mumm-Ra and I think Groon is over $50, and they're really hitting us hard as adult collectors. And as an adult collector, I purchased the first wave of Thundercats that included Mumm-Ra, Jackalman, Lionel, Panthro at a high-end price, thinking it was going to be a limited production run, like with Master Universe Classics. But Super 7, because they're coming out with more figures in the Thunder Tank, decided, well, we're going to re-release the first wave. Now, I paid $45 a pop, in my opinion, for a $24.99 figure because I figured it would be a limited run. And for them to re-release that line again, and I know they make toys to make money, of course, obviously, but to re-release it, it kind of took away from my investment. I could have waited and not bought a whole wave a year ahead of time and just picked the figures off one by one instead of putting down $160 for a set of 4 figures that I think should retail, like if they were hanging at Target or something, for maybe $24. So that was disappointing to know they could just go back at any time and just redrop these figures, because I thought it was an adult line, sort of an exclusive line to a certain niche audience of collectors. And I don't have a problem with them trying to make money, but when it's not what I thought it was, I'll just wait till they get around to these figures for those reasons. And now they've gotten around to Thundercats Slithe, so we're going to check them out. It came in this brown mailer, which came in a larger brown box from BigBadToyStore.com, and I've already opened it up, slid it out. There's nothing further in this box, nothing further going on with this box. And I just noticed it has the Warner Brother logo right there. Super 7 down there. Anyway, here is Slithe in a poly bag. And this box is huge. All right, I'm going to get it out of the poly bag to show you just how huge this thing is. I'm expecting this to be a nice hefty figure. And here is my Jacko Man from the first wave that I haven't gotten around to reviewing. But this might inspire me to get on this figure. This is the Jacko Man box, and you can see the difference in the size. And I'm laying down flat. Like, man, Slithe is a huge sucker in there. But here is the Mumm-Ra symbol on the front. I guess, is it for all the mutants? I think this is Mumm-Ra's logo. The double snake. Thundercat right there, Slithe right there, ages 14 and up. The back of the box has a nice Thundercat logo going across the back. And we see Super 7 again. And we have Ultimate on the top. And we slide it up to reveal the figure within. And he looks gorgeous. Now, as a kid, I thought the Thundercat toy line was horrible. And I only bought Lionel, and that was enough. I bought Lionel. I was like, you know, I'm not getting any more of these guys as a kid. But a friend of mine had Slithe, and I thought he was an awesome figure back then. The sculpt on him, the style of the body, like this lizard hunchback thing, and I thought he was pretty cool then, and I knew it would be cool now. And when I saw it on Big Bad last week, I jumped on it. But here is Slithe in the window box packaging, and this is good if you are a mitten box collector and you want to take the sleeve off and display it like this, and you can see all the gorgeous detail. You can see the weaponry in the background and the spare head right in front of you. Taking a further look at this package, on the back of the box we have a bio. We have some artwork. It looks great in a bio. I'm going to bring the box closer in case you want to pause and read this bio right here. And one more shot of that artwork. It is very nice. Look at that jagged axe. Man, you don't want to get that stuck in your chest. So now let's get Slithe open. Check this figure out. And the best thing about this figure, most of the Super 7 figures are a reuse of the Masters of the Universe Classics body. And with any toy line, I love it when they have to create a body that they will not use a lot and have not used before. Like when DC has to make the Penguin, has to make that short, fat body. You know you're getting something special when it's not the same stamped out figure over and over again. And the only way they might be able to use this body and this tooling again is to repaint this guy. And even as a kid, it made me feel like I was getting something special when you got a figure with a very unique body. So anyway, Slithe. I have to tie down Slithe. I'm out. This is the back of the packaging. We don't know what's going on in Breaking Dimension. I don't know. Just something in the background right there. And there's a separate clam in the back for his accessories. And there's tape on that. And if you're wondering why I'm being so tedious, you don't watch my channel, I unbox. It's part of my gimmick. I'm the guy that unboxes. It takes forever in the video. But it's okay because you can always fast forward. Then he's like tied down through his belt. I'm glad I didn't just yank that and break the chest armor. Come on, big boy, yeah. Man. Woo. There he is. He's a big dude, and packaged in the front is a spare faceplate. Spare face. And I've just noticed this now. I didn't notice in the cartoon. He has, looks like 2 tongues, or is that the slit down the middle of one? Looks like 2 tongues coming together. Alright, let's take a look at our mutant leader. Was he the mutant leader, or was Vulture Man the mutant leader? Well, Vulture Man was the inventor. The mutant leader. With the face only a mother of a mutant could love, Slithe comes to us in toy form almost identical to his cartoon animation model. From his bulging eyes to the teeth jutting out the sides of his mouth to his reptilian ears. There is plenty of molded in detail and scaling across the hunch of his back, along with some darker green painted spots and the spiny fins on his back. This figure looks awesome. Excellent attention to detail. He has a gray armband on one side of his arm. It looks to be painted on. On his left arm is a gray gauntlet. Look at that body. Look at that hunch. Like all this big chunk. And it's heavy. It's solid. Big chunk of plastic. I'm loving it already. Spinning them around. Just taking a look at some of the paint apps. I see a little bit of paint splotching right here. A little bit. And it looks like it's glue fall right here. The tail actually moves. It is hard. It is solid. It's one solid piece. Look at the muscles in his calf. Look at the sculpting on this thing. I am very impressed. Under the toes, top of the toes. Right. He has like this little loincloth right here, and it is very soft. Very soft. And I think those are supposed to be trunks under there, not just a crotch space. He has on black trunks underneath. Yep. All the way around. And this whole harness piece is connected to the trunks. It's all one piece. And I think if you want to slide it down, I think you can get this off. But I'm not doing all that. Let me take that off. So yeah, the little suspenders over his shoulder, I guess it's supposed to simulate leather. And then he has this little, what is it, tiara, crown, crest over his eyes, facial armor or whatever. I don't know what that does with the little stone in the middle. It is done well. Got like a splotch on my eyeball right there. But you got to kind of look hard to notice it. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. But yeah, Slithe looks pretty good. Let's check out his articulation. You see it can look left to right. The ears are catching on that one spike, and I'm not going to force it, but it probably would 360. Wish he had a neck articulation like right here, but he doesn't. So he's just looking left and right. And that kind of sucks where you can't kind of get him up a little bit higher or lower. It's not terrible, but I was hoping to have a little something right there. So we get that left and right. No up and down, so you got to move that. So man, the articulation is kind of gonna be funky because you could tell by the massive chest he's not gonna crunch and get a nice up and down look at all. So yeah, that's it for his head and chest neck area. And I'm gonna move this arm, and it is it's so tight. It's very tight. 360 out of that. I see the shoulder hinge underneath the strap. We can get it out this far to the side. This is how high it comes up, and that's it. He's kind of going to be limited because of his toady body or whatever in the sculpt. And there is no bicep swivel. And I don't think that's to preserve the cut. I think it's just left out. His elbow bend, he can get this much out of it. It 360s at the elbow. I guess making up for the bicep swivel. Coming to his hand 360s. It has a hinge on it, which is very good. And the palm is painted. That's going to be a problem. Putting weapons in and out of it. I guess there's no way of getting around it because it was going to be either way. You're going to paint the outside or the inside, and you're going to have some chipping getting weapons in and out. So to his waist. Slide with the loincloth. He probably will 360, but you don't want to take it all the way around, stretch this, because it's all one piece from the loincloth to the chest armor to the straps. So I'm not going to take it for a full 360, which really limits his articulation. His little stubby leg, with the tail out of the way, can come back that far, which isn't bad, and that far. And with the weight, I wonder how much posing you can get these little legs into before he collapses. Get his legs out this far, which is excellent. He has an upper thigh swivel. Can get a 360 out of that. And even the back crevice of his legs has molded in detail. I noticed it when I just did that. Can bend his knee. And with the stubbiness of the body and the hardness of the tail, I don't know what that's going to be worth, but I'm going to try to check it out, see what he can do. Has a rocker on his foot from side to side, and it moves front and back. And again, the underside of the feet are painted. Now, coming back to his tail 360, and it's not on the hinge, it's just 360. And he can stand without it, and maybe in some poses he can use it to balance if you want him to, I guess maybe get them looking up a little bit better. All right, let's check out some of its accessories. And all right, taking a look at this axe right here. It's casted in one piece of plastic, and I believe it's this all brown plastic, and the blade is just painted silver. And some detailing in there, some jagged little parts where you can tell Slithe custom made it on the fly in the woods, and it has some battle damage. He's got some use out of it. Carved up a few rubber bear burbles, wooden stick or whatever. Not a whole lot. Get it in his hand. All right, took some pushing, but we got it. Got it in his hand, and now he can maim Thundercats or Rober Bear Burbles or whatever have you. Ah, come here, Rober Bear Burble. Now for the second axe spear. You gotta forgive me, I don't know what these medieval weapons are called. It looks to be casted in the gray plastic, and the brown parts are painted on. The handle is painted, and the gray plastic has like a metallic finish to it, a little shimmer to it, even at the tip and at the end here. The tip has a little bit of molded in detail right there where it looks like it has some tooling work where it was forged, and the blade itself has a slight bit of molded in detail where it comes down and creases for the sharper part, and this is a separate paint app over that. It's not a whole lot going on, but it's not bad. It gets the job done, but just not a whole lot going on. Do that. And I'm hoping this one going a little bit smoother. I have to push on that one. Hope this one goes in smoother. And no. There we go. I'm sure the paint's probably gone by now. You can hold that axe just fine, and it stays in. It's not sliding up or down. Stays exactly where you leave it because of the tight grip of the hand. And I'm going to go for the mace. Now, I recognize this as something he actually carried in a cartoon. Just like the other weapons, the entire handle, the entire weapon is casted in gray plastic, and the handle is painted brown. He has a little bit of black detailing right here at the tip. And the mace is done in just this gray plastic. There's a little hint of shimmer to it. And I got some paint splotching on my mace. And I'm going to switch to the other open hand for the mace because we've used that hand already. And let's see what the other hand can do. I don't know if it's the exact same mold, just reversed. Wow. I actually snapped it. I couldn't get it into the hand. And this is like the first time this has ever happened to me. I actually snapped it. Wow, so I guess I'll glue it and it's just be a display piece. I don't know. Wow, trying to get in his hand. But you know what? I'm not deterred. I'm not done. I'm going to go for this one because this is a slightly different plastic. And with the grooves, yeah, this one went in his hand. But the first time I've broken a toy, and the plastic is different on these, and I kind of knew this would go in there. You could just feel it, the plastic being a little bit different. Like this is a more rigid piece, and this one is a little bit more pliable. Yeah, snap that. Ha. So, anyway, be careful with this one taking it out because it's the same as the mace. And then the make it so bad, the mace was going to be my favorite one out of these, you know, because I remember him with a mace a lot, running and even kind of dragging it down on the ground. So yeah, it sucks. All right, let's switch to his face. All right, interchangeable face. I'm assuming it just slides right forward off. Boom, there is the neck peg. And I mean, it's just coming straight forward. Never really seen that on a figure. And yeah, it's not just the face, it's the whole head, I guess. This is the secondary head when we had a look on his face. Yeah, come on, you. There we go. Got it on there. Monkey and go along with the plan. Yes. And he was often seen making this expression for whatever reason a lot. All right, before I break anything else, I want to switch out Slithe hands. It pops out pretty easy. It's just on a little peg, little hole. Put this hand in there. It's a more wide open hand. And let's try the weapons in this hand. I know he's not. This is going to flop around because the hand is wide open. It's more like a gesturing hand or maybe a gripping hand. Maybe he grip a vehicle. They come out with a vehicle for the mutants. But yeah, the weapon just kind of holds in there, and this is the open hand, and it looks pretty good. And as I say that, I got some paint splotch right here up on the finger. But the mold and the sculpt is excellent. It really is. Got a little lighter green in the palm. I don't think that's by accident. I think that's to give it a little bit more detailing. And let's go over to the other hand. And before I go to the other hand, when I broke the weapon, the thumb is so tight. Normally, when I arm a figure, I slide it in through the thumb. But it looked to be so tight, and this first finger is so deep in there that I didn't think that would work. I didn't even bother to try it. And believe me, I'd rather break the weapon than break a finger. But normally I squeeze it through here like this. Yeah, and nah. So I just try to go through the hole. Just so you know, I was thinking about it when I chose to put it in that way. All right, removing that hand. And I think I actually like, because this is how he was kind of gesturing all the time. Open hands are way better. I mean, he needs gripping hands, but these are way better because this is how he looked, and this is probably how I'll display him with his head and these open hands. So now let's get Slithe onto his size up and his rundown. And I'm going to try to bring out some chunky dudes to go along with this guy. I try to theme my size up and rundowns, but I don't know what I got to theme with this guy. All right, I'm going to kick it off with Mattel's Moss Man because they're both green and slimy. Here he is with Hasbro Marvel Legends Venom because he's kind of chunky. Here he is with his fellow mutants. What? Super 7's Ram Man. Ice Cube. Yay, yay. Wait, what? All right, my last chunky dude, Transformers Generation 1, Gnaw. Wait, one more big green guy, Mattel Revelations Battle Cat. All right, everybody, when I do my size up and my rundown, I do the photo shoot for the end of the video as well. And now that's how I pick and choose what goes in the end, what goes in the size up rundown. But as I was posing this guy around for the shoots, I noticed the hands are like actually very, very hard. And I know I showed it when I broke the staff, but I kind of thought I forced it a little bit, which I may have forced it a little bit, but anyway, bringing out some of the other figures, this is Lionel's hand. And you can bend this hand, and I can bend it out and open it up. But you can't do that with Slithe's hand. There's no give to it at all. I mean, absolutely none. I don't know if they just wanted to make sure that the staff wouldn't fall out. But, like, you can't work it through here and then bring it through the thumb. Like, I think that's even worse because you don't want to break the hand. These hands are very, very hard. Real quick, Mumm-Ra, kind of spoiler for the end. This is Mumm-Ra hand, and even though this is an open hand, I thought I grabbed a closed hand, but this is open hand. But much softer plastic used here, and I don't know if this was like the tail end of. This was made by Super 7, but I don't know if it was like the exact same plastic that Mattel had used for they handed it off because they reproduced Mattel's first and only wave of Thundercats, but you can see it's a lot softer. So, and also, like, I'm getting it in this hand. I told you the staff is painted. The paint's coming off of the staff already, sliding in and out of his hand. Then I was trying to take it out. That's what made me do this commentary, and it's kind of sticking in there. So I'm going to pop it out the wrist and see if I can work it out. Yeah, because that's super tight. First, I was blaming myself for being heavy-handed, but I think they're going to get equal blame and maybe a little bit more. You can see the paint in the palm of his hand right there. A little extra light on that. So, yeah, that's going on. It's just a little too tight. And I do know, like, all toys aren't perfect. And I'm not making any excuse for these guys because Super 7 has dropped the ball a few times, in my opinion. I still buy their product. So I'm not just ranting on these guys. I'm buying product. And I'm stating my opinion with the toys that I purchased. But while they're here, let's get him next to Mumm-Ra and the Lord of the Thundercats, Lion-O. Let's see how these mutants scale. And I have another open one. Let's get Panthro back here and check these guys out. My Thundercats collection so far. My final thoughts on Super 7 Slithe. This is a figure I really wanted, and I thought they might wait to the end to get around to this guy till they made a lot of money so they come up with the tooling for this figure. But he looks great. The molding is excellent. The paint is pretty good. There's a few little splotches, but all toy lines come with splotches. But with the magnification on Super 7 with errors and delivery time, you know, you kind of bring it up a little bit more with these guys. Might be fair, might be unfair, but that's just the way it is, and that's the way they made it. That's not the way I made it. I just buy the toys and I review the figures. The accessories that we get are cool. The stylization wasn't cool that I broke this one. I don't think it's cheap, man. And by the way, I've glued it. I'm gonna put some mighty putty on it and then sand it down and repaint it. Should be fine. And again, I'm not giving that a pass. I'm just telling you what I'm gonna do. It's a really cool figure. If you like the Thundercats, he looks fantastic, as you can see. But just be warned with the hands and what I've shown you, and I broke in the staff. And I'm pretty sure people are like, I didn't break my staff, but broke mine. A tight fit. You saw exactly what I was doing. And I do like this line. And I'm not going to get every figure in it. I'm so happy Big Bad is carrying some of these so I can pick and pull the ones that I want. And I'm not paying for any more of these figures up front. I'll wait till I get them off Big Bad, Entertainment Earth, who have you. Wherever they have it, I'll buy the ones that I want. Not buying a whole wave from those guys. Not waiting freaking 16 months to get a toy from these people. So, with that's all I got. I do like it, and I do recommend it. Just be careful with the accessories. And he's available right now at BigBadToyStore.com. That's where I got mine at last week. I want to thank everybody for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.